But
a lot of interviews. We did a
credit.
lot of newspaper things on why Atlanta should be better.
Okay, and then how did you change it? What have they done? Like more bars?
We got rid of the myths in Atlanta.
Okay.
Like the ratio was a bad myth. The every girl here is so desperate to get a guy myth that women were a big part of the negative narrative going on.
Okay,
there.
I see.
And and that coincided with a lot of culture and neighborhoods and things. Midtown got awesome, and there were a lot of things happening in Atlanta. So we're not going to take full credit, but there is hope for some of these cities.
For these cities is what you're saying.
Yeah, it went from this is one of the worst to this is one of the best. Just
they
listen.
Can get better.
Just take our help, Portland. I mean, just listen.
Please.
Yeah, Seattle too. They walk around all the time. I said this on last year's podcast, pretending that it's not raining, and they will never use an umbrella. They just have the REI, like the hood.
They got the hood.
So when you're walking and squinting, it's hard to see.
And you've got a hood on. You can't see.
It's hard to see each other.
You're just in your own little world.
Yeah, they were wearing masks before. So they don't use. There's no like, hey, let me help you with that umbrella. The women were like, no, it's not raining.
Myself.
Bad attitude.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Helping somebody holding an umbrella for them is a wonderful gesture for a stranger. They're not doing it there. So Seattle, first step, recognize that it's fucking raining.
Mm-hmm. Okay, raining.
Get an umbrella. It's not raining.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's
they're
just normal.
so used to it. It's normal. Yeah, they're used to it. So, still on our list, but improving slowly, very slowly. Another one on our list is actually last year's winner was moved down a little bit.
Okay.
And that is Denver, Colorado. Denver's a 2-time loser of this place.
I'm confused by that. I feel like Denver, a lot of people are moving to Denver.
I know. A lot of people are lured. Women hear Menver. They hear that. That's a lie. All it is a bunch of bros drinking in the corner beer, not talking to you.
Beards
yeah.
And like hipsters.
Yeah,
and
those guys are not talking to you at all. Here's why Denver got better. Or it's still fucking terrible. So let's not be confused here.
Okay.
Here's why it dropped down. What 2020 did to harm all of the rest of the cities was it locked everybody down. Denver's dating problem was nobody would stay inside and nobody would go on a date. They would just run to the mountains. We're going to go hiking. They would do all of these activities outdoors that were not conducive to one-on-one dating.
Right. You can't talk. You can't find out about the other person.
The only thing they would do inside
activities.
is go to some craft beer bar where the dudes were like drinking flights of shitty beer and the women were standing in the corner like a prom. Like, why aren't these guys coming over? The lockdown forced Denver to sort of reevaluate how they interacted with each other.
Okay, so the lockdown has been a positive for Denver.
It's been a positive for Denver. They've had to stay inside and sort of...
and actually talk to each other. And
or figure out how to talk to. So Denver's even a city where people were having Zoom dates and communicating online. That helped Denver.
Okay.
As a woman in Denver has said to us at one of our shows there, if we really wanted to go hiking, they should serve wine on top of the mountain. Well, they took the mountain out of play. They closed the craft beer bars for a little while, and Denver was forced to sort of look at itself for at least a 6-month period. I think that was good for Denver. I think Denver was rattled.
So Denver could, continue on the good path. And
I think we rattled. Like naming them, it got a ton of press last year that we named them the worst again.
Okay, so they're
trying. And we went in there after it got named. We had a huge crowd at our shows, and the crowd was not like, wait, no, let me defend Denver. No, they were exactly what you would think. They're like, yep, sucks,
hate it.
But being named twice that was on every news channel. It was in every newspaper there. It was a huge story there. And I think people were like, we got to figure out how to do things better. So just like Seattle, they're working on it. They're having conversations.
That's good.
Because most people are like, I hear Denver's great.
I do hear Denver's great.
I think they have a good publicist. Denver sucks. Denver's like Wichita with a mountain range.
I just have friends that moved to Denver.
I know. They were lured in by brochure.
People lying about how great it is.
Yeah, they're like,
apparently.
oh, look, mountains. You know what has mountains?
They're not like
Los Angeles, Arizona, Utah.
It's a little sunnier there than like other snowy places.
It is. Have you been to Utah?
I've not been to Utah.
Utah's stunning.
Better than Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better than Arizona. Like Utah, natural beauty in Utah is amazing. They pale because they're kind of close to the Grand Canyon, and people are like, I'm just going to go to the Grand Canyon, or people are like, oh, I'm going to go to the Rockies instead of. But if you drive around Utah, and you can drive around Utah fast because they have an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit, which is fucked up.
I just think of Utah. I think of like the
Mormons,
and like, what is it, Sundance?
Yeah, Park City
Festival. So I feel like that's fun.
Here's why. That's right. So Sundance, Salt Lake City is not, or even Park City, they're not a drinking place. They're not a bar, but they manage to be. Everybody goes to Utah. It's like, yeah, I have fun, and people are happy there.
Okay.
You fly through Salt Lake City Airport, and people are like, they're smiling
they're
and
nice.
they're happy.
They're
nice. I'm not here to get into the religious thing around here, but the Mormons seem like a happy bunch.
They seem to be happy.
They're
people are
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Okay, good for them. Well,
so I'm not sure if you want to date in Utah, and that's a separate show. We've never done a Great Love Debate show. Yeah, we've never done a Great Love Debate show in Utah. I don't know why.
Okay, next time.
I got to dive into that. It's a whole
Figure
different
that town
thing.
out.
It's a whole thing, but as
state.
far as just aesthetic, Utah is very underrated. It is.
Okay.
Have you been to Montana?
No.
I haven't either.
Oh, I want to.
I want to too.
I mean, I see
you've been to Wyoming, Dakota. Have you been to a Dakota?
I have not been into a Dakota. I mean, I've been to like the East Coast and the West Coast.
I know,
but never that area. And I'm not a skier, so I just feel like those are
the people who are going come back and like it's every bit as good as you heard it was.
Well, then
Idaho.
I gotta check it out.
In Idaho?
No,
I've been
Boise.
I've been to Boise.
How's Boise? I feel like I've heard a lot of people lately like, oh, I grew up in Boise. And I'm just like, what is that?
Everybody,
mean?
We're going to ruin it the way all the people from Los Angeles moved to Austin and they ruined it. And Nashville's going to be ruined too.
Yeah.
Probably Pittsburgh after this list. But people who go to these places, I've never been to a Dakota. I've never been to Keiko, who produces this podcast normally. She's been to all 50 states. She's one of those people.
Okay. I've been, what's the...
Do you think you've been to 40?
30. Maybe. Like half. 25.
You went 40, 30 to half.
I don't know.
Is there one domestic place that in America?
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of Hawaii and Alaska for a second.
Okay,
That's a different. And you're like, here's somewhere in the United States of America I've never been, and I'm like, I want to go there. It's on my list.
No, I would say like Jackson Hole, like you said, like that. Those areas.
Those
it's
places.
so not in my realm of. I'm from
They're
Ohio.
They're hard to get to.
They're hard to get to
because you got to connect.
There's no real reason to go there for anything unless like I know people. Somebody got married in Jackson Hole, so everybody goes to the wedding and it's so beautiful.
People are moving there now. It's crazy pricey, but it's like, do you want to live in Bozeman, Montana? Maybe you do, and maybe I do too.
Well, who knows?
I know. So
it's a good,
they're in a weird spot now. I've said that about Montreal a few times. Montreal's awesome, but they don't publicize to us that it's awesome, so I'm not sure
they don't want
people.
They don't want, outsiders.
So you used to see billboards. You'd be driving randomly, and it would be like, Montana, like a huge billboard, visit it. I think now they're like, wait,
we're going to roll that back. We don't want all of these crazy, weird people coming.
Yeah, and there's not a major enough city that we've been there on the Great Love Debate. So it's not like I've been to Cheyenne Comedy Club and done this. So I don't know, but it's that whole... So you've never been to Mount Rushmore?
No.
It's sort of like I'm
like not north of...
Am I going to be like, it's even better in person than I thought? Or I'm going to be like, oh, it's small. I heard
it's small. I heard it's not as great. But I mean, it's like when you see the picture of the pyramids and then you just see the pyramids and they look great. But then you zoom out and there's like a city.
You haven't been to the pyramids?
No.
I haven't either. People who go say it's the one.
Okay, maybe
the place that people go to the Taj Mahal. Everybody's like, it's awesome,
amazing.
Yeah, nobody says that. I went to Sedona for the first time earlier this year, and I was fully prepared to be like, it's not that great. It's better. It's it's awesome. Yeah,
but nobody talks about that as like the place to be, the place to visit, or do they?
People on the West Coast do.
Okay,
yeah, they're like Sedona. It's sort of like, have you ever been to Asheville, North Carolina?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I've not been there, but I mean, of course, I know about Asheville.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Newport, Rhode Island. It's awesome.
Awesome.
It depends on where you live, and it's like, oh, I heard about that.
I've heard about. Yeah, I'm just a Midwesterner.
Right. So if you are a Upper Plainser, is that what they call them? The people who live in the Dakotas or Montana.
The plains.
I don't know. I want to hear how awesome it is.
Okay, I do too.
I don't know. Maybe you'll make this list. There's states, so I don't know. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with the rest of the Worst Cities to Find Love 2020. Okay, we are back. And the next city on our list, I think it's sixth. The sixth worst city to find love, which was not on this list last year. It's been on the list a couple of times before. I have to think about it a lot. Is San Diego, California. Now, last year we named San Diego the laziest dating city in America. And almost everybody there agreed that's totally right. A lot of cities, people won't drive 10 miles to go on a date. In San Diego, they wouldn't cross the street to go to a date. Like, they are so lazy. They will not drive. There's no chance if you live in just a different neighborhood, a different part of San Diego. San Diego is fairly sprawling, and it has lots of neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. There's about 12 or 15 distinct areas. You might as well be like East Berlin, West Berlin back in the day. People are like, I'm not going to Miramar to date.
But why?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think because it's so nice there, day to day, weather-wise, it really, back to the malaise again, it really sets in this sort of, I'm good. I don't need to sit in traffic for... San Diego's a terribly laid-out traffic city, too. Mm-hmm, it's just bad. You always have to go... Every road is a one-way road, and it's not the way you want to go. And I think the dating's on that. They're like, any thought that I have to give on how to get there, I'm good here. I'm just going to go outside. It's nice. It's sunny. I don't want to talk to somebody I don't know for 2 hours. Fuck it. They're just not.
They're just not interested. They don't care.
People are good looking. They're fit. They're happy.
There's going to be choices all the time. I mean, they don't have to. I'll find somebody.
I'll get to that.
I don't have to work hard.
No, they're just like, this is it. It's like LA without even more of the crap. It's like, I'm just going to go outside and be happy.
I'm just going to live in this warm weather, this beautiful town.
Yeah.
And, whatever happens, happens.
Why do I want to talk to somebody I don't know? Why do I want to have angst? Why do I want to get my heart broken? I'm out. The men are bad. The women are bad. It's the laziest dating city. So having that, and a big part of dating is, and doing it well, is not being lazy. I couldn't keep it off the list. I'm like, that's a real thing, and it's a real problem there.
Well, too bad, San Diego. You're beautiful.
Yeah, you're beautiful, and you're beautiful, and your men and your women are beautiful. You're going to have to get into the muck a little bit.
Right. And they don't want to. They're like, no, I'm too good for that.
Yeah, they're like, what's wrong with being single? There's a lot of that. Why do I want to get married? There's a lot of that in San Diego. So if you move to San Diego, there's a good chance you're going to love it. There's a good chance you're going to be happy. There's a good chance you're going to be alone.
You're going to be single for the rest of your life.
And
but
a lot of
people,
and they're fine with that. Yeah,
okay.
There's other things you can do with your time, I suppose.
I guess so. I guess us people in these cold weather areas are just bored.
Yeah, you got to huddle up.
We got to just find somebody so we can snuggle.
They're like,
huddle
I'm good.
Up together.
I've made the joke a few times. They'll travel far for a deal on a desk at IKEA, but they won't cross the street. So San Diego, you made the list. So
sorry, San Diego.
Number 5 on this list, and it always hurts me personally to have to say anything negative because I'm from there and I've lived most of my life there. New York, you are number 4.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
I know.
I've been there.
Here's why New York got worse in 2020. So there's a point as a New Yorker, you're always thinking about leaving, and you're always and you talk to people who leave, and nobody's ever left and come back except for Jerry Seinfeld. He's the only one who left.
Well, he's the only one that can afford to make it as amazing.
He lives a different life.
He doesn't.
Okay,
he doesn't have to live the New York lifestyle.
He lived for 15 years in Los Angeles, and he never furnished his house ever, which is weird. And so he moved back to New York, but. All of us who are from New York,
quarters.
We hear about people who left. And everybody we talk to is like, I love living in Charleston, South Carolina, or they moved to Florida. They do. But the stubbornness in us in New York want us to believe New York is the best.
There's nothing better. There's not a better city.
Right.
I mean,
all
no
of the
other city
advantages
exists.
that New York has always traditionally had, the melting pot of cultures and all, that's in every city now. So you're really staying in New York because you can get an omelet at 3 a.m. and you think that's can't get that anywhere else.
It's hard to live there, so you feel like you've survived something.
New Yorkers, I was one of those people. I'm like, I'm never leaving New York. Then now I'm like, I can't believe. Now what 2020 did was a lot of people for a lot of bad things. Yeah, they're like, I'm out of here. So the only people left in New York are really like, no, I'm the last one off the island. Like. Real bitter in a defensive pose and nobody's happy to be there. So the people who were looking to leave, they were somewhat hopeful. They're like, there's a better way.
Yes, I don't have to be here anymore.
Right, there's a better place. There's hope out there. The people in New York is like, there's no hope. I'm sticking it out. I'm just going to go down with the ship. That's a terrible date